We take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Toyota. Felton and McCants in the backcourt, as Dick talked about. Marvin Williams and Sean May up front. For the home team, Wake Forest, Chris Paul and Justin Gray, two all-stars in their own right. Levy, Danilus, and Eric Williams up front. The officials, Carl Hess, Bernard Clinton, and Mike Wood. And we're underway in Winston-Salem. The other thing that Skip Prosser said to us today out in the hallway about a game like this and a game this big, as you look at Roy Williams in only his second season at North Carolina, Skip's in his fourth year at Wake Forest, and he has learned well to enjoy the moment. He said, let's enjoy it, let's not endure it.
I love that statement. I'll tell you, he was all fired up seeing him earlier today.
May in deep, triple team, still got the shot away, but the rebound comes off to Williams.
They had a big game here last year when they beat Wake Forest on this floor. Also, Melvin Scott came off the bench and had 20 last year. Man-to-man defense. They've been playing suffocating man-to-man defense, especially on the perimeter, on the three-point shooters. Just ask Maryland and ask Georgia Tech.
And Gray's been sensational outside the arc. He missed from a 15-footer there, and the ball will go over to Carolina. Justin Gray has been on fire lately.
Got 11 threes in his last two games.
That's right, 56 points and 11 three-pointers the last two outings. Here's Felton all the way. Chris Paul snatches down the rebound, and Wake looks to run.
Look at the quickness of Paul. This place is electric right now.
Boy, is it ever.
Paul and Gray form such a tandem on that perimeter.
Williams trying to go backcourt to Levy, and another turnover.
But I'll tell you, Brad, it's been the consistent play of Williams inside that has been the difference.
Both teams turn it over early. Chris Paul trying to draw first blood. Danilus keeps it alive. Justin Gray, there's the three. In and out. Levy puts it on the floor. Still no score. Finally, Williams does.
Williams, the big guy inside with the offensive rebound. He has been consistent. He's been a factor in our 3-second lead.
When's the last time you heard a roar that big for the first basket of the game?
I know, it's amazing.
McCants from the free throw line rattles it out.
I can barely hear you, partner.
And a whistle and a foul. Wow, this is ACC tournament electricity we've got right now.
Watch him on the interior. There's the great hands. There's Williams with the catch, lays it on the glass. A little reaction. His mom is really into it in the crowd as well, as so is the team cheering on the sideline.
Chris Paul for three off the mark. He's been hot too from three-point land.
How good is Illinois that they blew out Wake Forest? Was at home, but their backcourt is sensational.
Felton forces the shot. Carolina gets the rebound, and they draw the foul underneath. And that means Jawad Williams will go to the line.
North Carolina in their last two games, they've been so dominant against good basketball teams. Georgia Tech and Maryland, preseason rated very high. I mean, they just blew them out. 34 points plus against Maryland, and then dominated Georgia Tech, who played without B.J. Elder.
We did the Maryland game. That one was tied at 32, and before you knew it, it was a 20-point game, and then it was a 42-point game in the second half.
I think the edge, if you go to the bench strength certainly goes to North Carolina. They've been getting great play out of David Noel, Melvin Scott, and magnificent Marvin. I love Marvin Williams. There isn't a freshman in America that I would trade if I had Williams.
Speaking of Williams, Jawad, the understated one, has two free throws, and we're tied at 2.
You're right, Brad. He's the leading scorer for North Carolina and doesn't get much publicity. You talk about the big three, and deservedly so, Felton, McCants, and certainly May, but Williams has been steady. Man-to-man defense, and this is what they've brought into Roy Williams. Playing on the defensive side has made them a different team from last year.
And Skip Prosser says his offense becomes his defense. Here's Danilus. They haven't hit from the outside yet.
And what he means by that is you have to reduce taking bad shots. You have to reduce turning the ball over, because now your offense becomes your defense.
Manuel not an offensive threat. If there's one on the team that probably isn't, it's him. Trying to feed May and almost turned it over.
Manuel's a slasher, a defensive player.
Look at Paul and Felton go at it. Backdoor cut by May, and he got it.
What a great look by Felton, a little two-man game. May with those great hands. Look at the defense here now being played on him. Eric Williams trying to beat him to the spot, cause a little deflection, and there's a little backdoor cut.
And a tough shot over Gray, who got the foul.
Yeah, Gray tried to rotate over, but came over a little too late.
Sean May, 75% free throw shooter. Takes it a three-point play.
Talk about win streaks right now. Illinois got 17. There's Mr. Williams on the floor. We got a lot of Williamses here. We got Roy. We got Marvin. We got Jawad. We got all kinds of Williams. Eric. What a great afternoon for college basketball. And a terrific afternoon.
This is about as big as it gets during the regular season. And I mentioned these two teams don't play home and home like they have since 1922 because of the new ACC and the new schedule. Williams strong inside.
He is a different player this year. He's so much more confident. He's matured as a player. You can also use that description for Rashad McCants. He's matured as a player. Not worried about stats. He's worried about just performing to win.
Ball out of bounds to North Carolina.
Told me that before the game. Spoke to me before the game. You were there. And he's standing around. Rashad said, you know, it's all about winning now. And I really sort of congratulated him. I said, hey, keep doing what you're doing because what you're doing is right.
And how about this guy? Jawad Williams knocks down a three. He's got 5 early.
That's why he's shooting better than 60% from the field. Very efficient with the shots they take. Look at the defense being played on Paul by Felton.
Wake still hasn't hit from the outside. Williams goes inside, and an offensive foul. And if it's on Justin Gray, it's his second. It is.
That could be big.
That could be huge, and he's going to the bench right away, Dick.
Well, they have an outstanding guard they can bring in, and Downey, a veteran player. But I'll tell you, anytime you lose a guy like Gray, take away minutes from that lethal three-point shooting, that becomes a negative.
He's their highest scorer at almost 18 a game. Both teams in the top 5. Never happened before, despite the great history of basketball here in Tobacco Road between these two teams.
That's amazing. You shocked me when you laid that on.
Here's McCants on the baseline. Up and foul.
He's the most skilled offensive player in the nation. He can score inside, post you, hit at the perimeter shot, drive.
Right now, the drive-ins belonging to North Carolina by 4. The first 4 minutes belongs to North Carolina as Wake Forest shooting only 2 out of 8 to open the game. I think everybody a little bit nervous, Dick.
Yeah, you know, suffocating defense as well. And I'll tell you this about North Carolina, what impressed me in the 2 wins they recently had over Georgia Tech and Maryland. Both clubs shot, ready for this, Brad, unbelievable. 5 for 39 from the 3. So that tells you they're extended defensively. They're playing it collectively as a unit, and they're in rhythm. They have bought into that system of Roy Williams, which is a winning philosophy. All you have to do is check his track record at Kansas.
And he watches as Rashad McCants knocks down both free throws. Last year's leading scorer in the ACC with his first 2. Williams has all the scoring for Wake Forest. As this one knocked away.
Great job of rotating after the double team. They would be a tough team to double team because of the passing ability of Paul. But they doubled up, and North Carolina was quick in rotating from the help side.
Chris Paul will inbound on the baseline. Into Downey, who's in there for Justin Gray, who's got the early foul problems.
And Downey can certainly start for a lot of schools. Sometimes they play that 3-guard concept, and they're very tough with Downey, Paul, and Gray.
Downey was a starter at times earlier in his career, over 10 points a game last season, about 8 a game this year.
Levy's one of those under-heralded kids who rebounds, gets about 8 rebounds a game.
5 on the shot clock. Paul's going to go around a pick. Felton right on him. He's going to have to put it up. And he got it right at the buzzer.
Great ball fake. Felton really played him tough. Made him pull up and shoot that jumper, but gave a little ball fake to get free.
Boy, to play defense that well all the way to the very end and then have it knocked down, that takes a little bit out of you.
He's such an effective offensive player. Paul, to me, is the consummate guard. He can play the point, the second guard, a lead guard.
McCants cut off on the baseline by Levy.
Got to get more ball movement than dribble movement.
Felton trying to answer Paul with the long Karen on the run against his good buddy, the other point guard. And had it blocked by Manuel.
Manuel defensively rotated over, gave a lot of help to his buddy Felton.
Felton has it stripped and blocked by Williams. Now it's Chris Paul, open court.
They're going to make him own it. Oh, what an afternoon. This place is electric. What intensity and emotion here. This has got to be the hoops capital of America tonight. Take a look at Chris Paul here. One of the great guards does the double team. They're going to rotate over. Look at the great job of rotating from the help side by North Carolina. Now here goes Mr. Ball. Little shake. Now look at the head fake. Oh, Raymond forgot something. Oh, Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond.
Chris Paul at the line. This is a guy that maybe they'd like to shoot a little bit more. He's too unselfish at times. Chris Paul, 14 points a game. North Carolina was a massive substitution coming in.
Well, remember under Dean Smith, they used to have the blue squad come in. Certainly Roy, who has great admiration and love for Dean Smith.
You mentioned David Noel coming in. Melvin Scott, great guy off the bench. And Sean May coming back in. So those are the three that return, and Paul knocks down both free throws.
You know what a difference a year makes, showing the strength of North Carolina. Scott was the hero here last year with 20 as a starter. This year he's coming off the bench.
Sean May draws a double team. Williams takes a long three and scores. Wow, his second of the afternoon, and he's got 8 early points.
He's so poised. He takes good shots, quality shots. That's the key in winning. They thought when they got blown out by Illinois, they took bad shots, and they credit Illinois for a great defensive effort.
Downey, the left-hander. Rebound, stays alive to Strickland, and then he missed him close.
Strickland, a very active player, very athletic.
May on the run. And he lost the handle, but had it knocked out of bounds by Wake Forest.
And another difference when you look at North Carolina, Skip Clausen trying to get his troops. He's a little upset. Here's a look at Roy. He has really got them playing and sharing the basketball. That's a big difference this year. Being unselfish.
Williams, same spot. Off the mark, Downey all alone for the rebound.
Wake Forest a great three-point shooting team, but you don't see many opportunities back at the three-point line.
This guy's going to take one. Downey got it.
He finally gets one. Yes, sir. They're an outstanding three-point shooting team.
They're second best in the conference, but North Carolina's number one.
Number one.
May outside.
Well, you and I talked about it. You could just say number 1, 2 in every category, statistically.
Wake with a chance to tie or lead this trip. Their only lead was on the opening bucket of the ball game. And Downey's got to call a timeout due to Scott's excellent defense. So 13-11 remaining in the half. And it is a 2-point game. Next weekend, don't miss the season premiere of the PGA Tour on ABC Sports. Tiger Woods, BJ Singh, Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson, and defending champion John Daly head the field at the Buick Invitational. Coverage starts late night, highlights Thursday and Friday, and continues with live action next Saturday and Sunday right here on ABC Sports.
You know, some people are saying, if they win this game, it's over. I want to jump on that.
Well, you just mentioned a lot of people think that if North Carolina wins this game, the ACC race is over because of the way it's structured this year with a schedule, and I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I can't buy that. Not in the mid-January. You still got trips to take. You go down to Duke. You talk about a guy that's milking his team, getting the most of them, like Krzyzewski. You look at here, go to Maryland, play down there. They're going to be a different team. Georgia Tech, when they get B.J. Elder. But obviously, whoever wins here gets a leg up big time.
Let's check in with Doris.
Well, guys, Teron Downey getting minutes because of the foul trouble to Justin Gray. They call him Dagger Downey because of his ability to hit big shots. He hit this one moments ago. Remember, as a sophomore, 31 games he started at the point for a 25-16. In comes Chris Paul. He had to take a seat and come off the bench. He's never complained once. Another big shot there, guys. Got to run it.
Right on cue, Doris. Downey with another three.
I tell you, it's nice when you can go to your bench and you get veteran players like Downey and Scott, and they really buy into the fact that they can help the club just by contributing off the bench.
Wake, down by 6, has regained the lead. Scott, deep three. And Downey another rebound. Downey's got 2 rebounds and 2 threes in the last 4 possessions.
He has really been positive off that bench. Here's where it all starts, right here with number 3. He's their catalyst.
Strickland, baseline, foul before he got there. Mike Wood whistles it off. And the foul is going to be on David Noel.
We're going to take a look at Downey right now, just on cue what Doris was talking about him. Nothing but nylon. And look who's the biggest cheerleader. That's right, Mr. Gray. He's had 11 threes in his last 2 games. A terrific shooter.
Would you bring Justin Gray back in right now? Skip looks like he's thinking about doing that. Downey's playing so well. Here comes Justin to the
Well, he must have heard you. He must have heard you. He must have heard you. He answered the question for you.
I don't know if Downey hits another shot here. I think I let Justin just sit with those 2 fouls for a little longer.
He may play 3-guard concept.
Good point.
They've done that a number of times. Visser, a big guy, gave him some good minutes last year in that low post.
Visser picked up his dribble and got himself in a little trouble.
They stretched the defense because of post presence.
Downey another 3. Got it!
He said, Coach, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. He's making like Justin Gray, who hit 4 in the first 4 minutes against Clemson, and then was on fire against Maryland. It's Joe Tallahassee, the Screaming Demons, man. They've been here since 10:30 on fire.
Some of them have been here since Thursday. They camped outside. There were thousands outside last night. Doris talked about Skip Rosser and some of the team bringing pizzas. But some of these kids have been camping since Thursday, and it's a little nippy up here in North Carolina, I'll tell you. A little cool at night.
TD, they love them. The Screaming Demons. They got all the demons in the house tonight. Jay Haas, the golfer, Curtis Strange, they're all in the house cheering for their demons.
Wake with a 13-3 run right now and a 4-point lead.
Both clubs are what Bud Kellogg used to say, spurtability.
That's right.
They got great spurts out of these clubs.
Williams is thinking about it. He'll take a triple. This one short.
They got to start getting some touches inside.
And a cheap foul, I think, after the fact. Wait a minute, maybe it's going to be on Wake. They call it on Strickland. It is on Strickland. I thought it was going to be on Noel.
The one area where they're doing a nice job right now, Wake Forest, is negating the transition game.
Let's take another look.
Oh, he's got a ball.
There, I didn't see that.
Yes. No doubt. And you know what? McCants just backed away. McCants just backed away, which is really smart on his part.
It's getting heated up in Winston-Salem, and the Demon Deacons leading by 4.
Forest up by 4, but Skip Prosser in that timeout just told his guys, listen, play hard, but be intelligent. You have got to be able to keep your emotions in check. Undoubtedly referring to this incident with Strickland going after McCants a little bit, guys. He also said, listen, if they're in your grill defensively, you've got to dribble drive by them, but do it with other people in mind, Dick.
I'll tell you one thing, that's a key, dribble penetration. You get into the lane, it creates opportunities for your teammates. McCants, I thought he showed a little maturity right there. I mean, he normally would have come back after him, but he just walked away.
That was a double foul call before the timeout, and both guys are sitting right now to cool off a little bit. Good move by both coaches to sit them down. Strickland now is out there.
They're doubling up on a post. Really trying to get the ball out of May's hands. He's 45 for 77 in his last 5 games.
Look at the intensity on defense. Strickland knocks it away from Felton.
I'll tell you, they're playing with a bit of passion, intensity, emotion. They're doubling up on May, who's an excellent passer, but they want to get the ball out of his hands. He's been on fire. 45 for 77 in his last 5 games.
11-10 remaining in the first half. A torrid pace, but the Demon Deacons in the lead by 4, and that's kind of an unfamiliar spot for North Carolina, even being behind. Even though it's only 4 points, now it's only 2. Nice hang time by Jack Emanuel.
Well, that's what he does well. He's a slasher, not a perimeter shooter. I said 5 games, last 8 games. Also had 19 rebounds made against Kentucky in a win.
Carolina only 4 out of 15 from the floor so far.
Now, just their only legit road game since the first one when they lost to Santa Clara.
Wade turns it over. That one was without Felton, of course, who was suspended for that first game. Here he is with a jumper to try to tie it. They thought about a 3.
He has worked on that shot. We documented 600 shots a day in the summer.
Whistle and a foul on Carolina.
Roy Williams, the perfect hire for this job after Matt Garney was let go, and I hope he bounces back. Holding it very tight down in the post here. He's leading on May down there in that 3-second area.
And that was the foul on May with the shoulder. So we've seen that twice down in that same spot, throwing a shoulder or an elbow. Quentin Thomas now comes in, and Raymond Felton gets a breather.
What I like about guys like Paul and Felton, as gifted as they are, they stay within the offensive system.
I'm not sure that was the offensive system for Strickland to take that 18-footer, but It's out of bounds to North Carolina.
The one thing, those kids are so talented. When you talk Felton and Paul, they can create shots for themselves. But a lot of times, if they're pounding the ball to the deck, everybody's standing around taking a picture. You got the Kodak man.
That's right. A little bit of backcourt pressure. Chris Paul now will press Quentin Thomas.
He committed early, committed to Wake Forest on May 6th, his birthday of his junior year. Told me that before the game.
There was never really much doubt about Chris Paul out of Louisville, just down the road a piece, as they say here in Carolina.
He said he used to go to church with Strickland. He's from the area, loved it, wanted his family here. He said, wanted mom to wash my clothes. He's
not a bad choice. Not a bad choice.
He is a terrific kid.
He is a fun kid to be around.
Got a smile on his face, enjoys playing. The mayor of Winston-Salem.
Danilus comes up short. May with an easy rebound in the outlet. Great play to Williams.
What a nice little look. I mean, he just dumped it off to Williams for the jam, trailing the play.
And for David, that was the first Noel assist-wise.
David, yeah, I like that. The first Noel.
Baseline, and they wave it off.
I mean,
Williams has 10 points already.
You know, Brad, you get people off the bench like certainly Noel with the pass. Look at him running the court. You're going to watch him right now as the trail man. There's the dump down, and there's the jam.
Tied at 17, only our second tie of the ball game. Paul trying to penetrate. Williams walks with it.
Shuffled his pivot foot down in that post area.
That's a fourth Wake Forest turnover.
Both clubs, when they talk about not taking bad shots, number one, and not turning the ball over, becomes you're offensively efficient, it helps your defense. Because the worst thing you can do against North Carolina is turn the ball over in that, like, mid-court area. They're going to convert off that.
We saw that against Maryland last Saturday.
They are so quick to the basketball. And I still ask the question, how good is Illinois? They must be sensational that they dominated Wake Forest with Brown and Williams, Powell.
Thomas threw it away. The pass was too weak.
This ball and Gray were telling me, they said, we knew about Williams and Brown, but we didn't know about Powell and Head. They shocked us.
Jack Emanuel picks up his second foul in the last minute or so. Next Saturday, ABC has more great regional college hoops. Most of you will see the Demon Deacons travel to Cincinnati. That's next Saturday, 1 Eastern on ABC. Check your local listings for the game in your area. And we're in a 1-on-1 situation right now. That means Vitas Danilus will go to the free throw line on the foul by Manuel.
Danilus, great to see him back. He's had so many injuries in his career. His South year, second year, he was all ACC second team.
Right. Last year had the knee and ankle problems that kind of deterred him a little bit, averaging a little over 6 points a game this season.
Brings a lot of experience, a certain toughness, can make the jump shot from the perimeter, stretch the defense. See, both these teams have post presence. I heard Gary Williams talk about it. He said, to be really effective, you got to have balance. And both these clubs have balance because they got post presence with guys like May and Williams.
Those two guys working in the paint right now against each other.
Two buddies, always out with each other, play together on the USA 20 and under team.
McCants misses the outside jumper. Chris Paul the rebound.
Paul and Gray were on that team as well. And the gold medal under Kelvin Sampson.
In fact, they were named Cole Mayo USA Basketball Athletes of the Year, and there was a presentation before the game with Chris Paul and Sean May out at midcourt, and that drew a standing ovation from the sellout crowd here of almost 15,000. 15 on the shot clock. 8 and change remaining first half. Justin Gray wide open triple. Got it.
Can't allow him to get open. Can't allow him to get open. If you do, you better call up the fire chief because he's going to burn the nuts down.
Williams almost got a steal there. Deacons with their biggest lead now. They're up 5.
They say he hit 4 in a row against Clemson in a matter of 4 minutes.
He hit his first 5 straight in that game. Knocked out of bounds. It'll still be North Carolina ball. So Wake Forest has jumped out to a 5-point lead. There's what we were talking about. Teammates on one squad, opponents this afternoon. John, I tell you, George Washington gave Wake Forest, all they wanted in the season opener here. I did that game. And Carolina shot clock expired.
George Washington's got some outstanding athletes. And you're right, Dad. I watched that game. It wasn't until the last 5 minutes that they broke it open. I'll tell you this. They're doing a great job defensively for Wake Forest. And I really believe the Screaming Demons are playing a part of that. There's so much energy here. This is a high-paced place, man. It is unbelievable.
I tell you what, buckets are hard to come by. Look at the shooting percentage today. You talk about defense. 28% for Carolina on a 5 out of 18 start so far.
And you're talking about a team that leads the nation in scoring. 93 points plus a game. You're talking about the two really explosive teams in the ACC. I mean, it's unreal. Hey, Julius Peppers is in the house.
Former North Carolina star in 2 sports and now All-Pro with the Carolina.
Oh, one of my favorites.
As Muggsy.
One of my favorites. Look at Marcel. He's trying to call for a contract somewhere. He's trying to get another contract.
Muggsy's in the rafters. They got some new banners up here, some nice ones with some of the great players that have played here. Muggsy being one of them. Muggsy had over 80 steals in back-to-back years. And Chris Paul had over 80 steals last year. He's the last guy that's done it since. That Tim Duncan guy wasn't bad either, was it?
Not bad. I'll tell you this. Muggsy Bogues is a great example for so many young kids. I spoke at a function he was at. I said, what an inspiration you are to prove all those doubters that you can. Think about 5'3" playing in the NBA.
It's like my daughter playing in the NBA.
Wow.
7 minutes left in the half. Big shot for Felton. Carolina still cold. May trying to put it back. Get the second chance and scores.
They got to get him some touches inside. May goes and get it himself on the offensive board. They're doing a great job of shutting down the transition game of both clubs.
I tell you
stopping
what,
the ball.
You better get back because it's fast.
They're stopping the basketball. Well, this is NASCAR country, so that's why it's got to be fast. It's got to be high-paced.
Gray around a couple of picks. Felton with a rebound.
And there's nobody in America quicker with the basketball than this guy right here. Take a look at him. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, he's Mr. NASCAR. Mr. Felton. Everybody loves Raymond.
He doesn't love that foul call, though. That's his second.
He must have heard us talk about speed and quickness. Look at this explosive little guy. Mr. Felton, heads up. While you young kids keep the head up when you bounce that ball to the deck. Nobody stop the ball. That's a no-no.
He cuts the lead down to 3, however, and then picked up the foul. So it's going to be a 1-and-1 for Chris Paul.
North Carolina certainly in the rankings nationally in almost every category offensively.
North Carolina number 1 in scoring, number 3 in field goal percentage, number 1 in the ACC in free throw shooting. That's one thing that might end up biting Wake Forest somewhere down the lines, their free throw shooting, but Chris Paul just knocked 2 down.
Yeah, that's been a struggle for them. In fact, that's the one negative against Maryland. We're like 15 to 35.
Right. Felton walked with it.
They're doing a great job defensively, though. I'm telling you, the last 3 times I've seen North Carolina, Wake Forest has answered the call defensively.
This is only the second year for Roy Williams. Last year, the team didn't play Roy Williams ball, and Doris, they're doing that this year.
Well, they really are. 8-20 2 years ago for Carolina. They were only assisting on 57% of their baskets. Well, what does he preach? Fundamentally sound, unselfish basketball. This year, Dick, 70% of their buckets coming off the pass, Carolina. For all their individual talent, this is a cohesive unit.
Yeah, they really are, and they're really passing the basketball, and that's why, along with Illinois, they're the top 2 in the nation in terms of assists. Roy Williams very animated on that sideline. Not happy. Playing away from home's a whole different creature. And that's one area where I'll certainly give a compliment as you watch him from the inside. Look at him. Oh, you got to call a foul there. You got to call a foul.
I think it's going to be another double foul, which will be the second we've seen in the half. Eric Williams and Marvin Williams.
I don't see a double foul there. I mean, they call it. I can't.
I wasn't sure about the first one being a double foul, but the officials, Mike Wood, Carl Hess, Bernard Clinton, trying to keep it nice and tight and keep control of the game because there is just a huge amount of emotion between these two teams.
You know, we're all pumped up for the game. You're pumped up. I'm pumped up. The officials are pumped up. Bernard Clinton told me this is his first big game, and he's all pumped. He's a U.S. Marshal, though, so don't mess with him. He'll be all right. Working with 2 veterans.
Here's Jawad Williams. Nice feed to Marvin. Williams to Williams.
Williams to Williams. Jawan to the young, magnificent freshman, Marvelous Marvin. I love him. I would not trade if I had him for any freshman in the nation.
Chris Paul hangs and delivers.
Chris Paul gets right into that lane, and that's what he does well.
Pull up for Melvin Scott. In and out. And I think pushing off was McCants. And that's 3, I believe, on McCants. He'll have to sit, and immediately.
And really shut him down offensively. Wake Forest really answered the call on the defensive side. You know, I got to give a compliment, though, to Skip Ross. In a day when so many coaches want to play cupcakes, he went on a road and played some tough people. He played at Temple. You did the game.
Yep.
He was certainly at Illinois, at New Mexico. Played at the Pit. By the way, they're 14-2, but they just lost their superstar scorer, Danny Granger, to a knee injury. Richie McKay did a fine job in that program down at the Pit.
And the first score for Jamal Levy. McCants and Roy Williams talking about that third foul, and he gave Mike Wood not the best look I've ever seen a player give an official. Mike didn't do anything about it. It's all right.
Mike's been around. I'll tell you, he's blown the whistle enough. And a little hug right now. Look at the hug, Felton. He's playing a political role now.
You know, I talked about the free throw shooting of Wake Forest. Try their 10 for 10.
That's not too bad for a club that came here under 70%.
Williams knocks down a 3.
What is there not to like about that young guy? You tell me, Mr. Nessler. What is there not to like? Size, quickness, explosiveness.
6'9", 230-pound freshman out of Ringleton, Washington. And now the foul is going to be on Danilus, and that'll turn it back over to North Carolina.
They got Danilus for an illegal screen. They got him for a moving screen. Felton ran right into him. You got to communicate on those screens. Got to let your teammate know when they're setting those babies up.
Let's get another look at it.
Got to set that up. You got to right here. See right here. Watch that screen.
Yeah,
He's moving.
You got a little help there.
He's moving. You're not allowed to move at all. You got to be stationary and allowing that screen.
That's how you can get a hip pointer right there. Marvin Williams either didn't yell loud enough or Raymond Felton didn't hear it, and that hurt.
Yeah, Williams has got to let him know. Screen on the left, screen on the left. Communicate. They want to lose this guy. They found out already what happens without him in the lineup.
4-point game right now. It's been physical, it's been emotional, and something you don't ever see, it doesn't seem. A double foul has been called twice in the ball game, and this was the first one as Strickland threw an elbow right there. McCants didn't retaliate, and here was the second one moments ago. Williams and Williams tangled up.
Yeah, I don't see where this double fouls. I really don't.
4-point game with 4:42 remaining in the half.
Sometimes the double foul is the easy way out, though. Yeah. That's the easy way. You pacify everybody. So I got to keep you happy. I got to keep Doris happy. I got to keep Kim Belton, our producer, happy.
I thought I had to keep you happy and Doris happy. I didn't know it was you. Danilus with 2 fouls. So is Williams. Now Strickland's picked up 2. Justin Gray had 2 early. So Wake Forest has a little bit of a shaky situation with their personal foul problem with 4:42 still remaining.
Well, you know, one thing I like, partner, you're right on top of it. Bottom line is I was ready to share with the people in this game how free throw shooting could be a disaster for Wake Forest, and here they haven't missed.
30-26. Downey was so huge coming off the bench when Gray got those fouls. He's back in there running the baseline.
See, what I like about Paul, he doesn't try to force the action. He does the great look.
Whoa, how many times do you see a missed jam? And then Chris Ellis hung there long enough to score the second time.
And if you recognize the name, his daddy was a great three-point shooter, Dale Ellis.
At Tennessee and then in the NBA. Marvin Williams loses the handle. Chris Paul there to steal it.
He is so quick.
Runs through traffic, fouled before he got to the rack by Jackie Manuel.
He is so quick. My buddy Dan Wetzel, who does a great job at CBS.com, as you watch right here.
He missed the jam. Now watch this.
Yeah, and he's going to stay and catch it and take it right back up. Real strong move. He said about Mr. Paul, I mean, this is some compliment. He said he's got Allen Iverson kind of ability on the floor, and he's Shane Battier off the court.
Oh, boy.
That's pretty strong.
That is strong.
That's strong. Last night, by the way, Tim Duncan, Wake Forest got a win. They beat North Carolina, beat Stackhouse.
They were behind in that game, came back and won.
They beat Stackhouse. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Howard plays, by the way, for Dallas, former Wake Forest player.
Now the lead is 8. That's the biggest by either team. Under 4 minutes. Marvin Williams draws a double team, leaving Felton for 3. Got it.
Can't leave him open this year. Gary Williams told us that before the game with Maryland.
52% from outside. That's 16th best in the country.
Well, he made 12 in a row at one time. Now they rotated to the zone. They played this zone effectively here last year in getting a win. Dino Guardia, who does a great job as assistant coach, told him, he said, we worked on the zone attack yesterday.
Paul with a 3.
And there it is, the overload to the baseline side against the back guy at a 1-3-1.
Chris Paul with 13 points. And now it's 37-29.
They worked on that in practice after looking at film and understanding they may see the zone, the 1-3-1.
Carolina, another turnover. Strickland's going to slow it down, I think, and wait for his teammates. Down low, Ellis. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Ellis trying to be aggressive on the offensive side. Wake Forest has been basically a man-to-man defensive team, but also plays some triangle 2.
Biggest lead in the ball game with 3:03 remaining. Chris Paul putting on a show and Wake Forest in front. Screaming Demons are having fun with 3:03 left in the half here. Don't forget, 2 weeks from tomorrow, the NBA on ABC returns with a showdown between the league's premier big men. Shaq and Yao get together for the first time, with Shaq as a member of the Heat. Sunday, January 30th, 12:30 Eastern, right here on ABC Sports, home of the NBA Finals. Chris Paul, a guy that'll be in the NBA someday. He's only a sophomore. Dick, he's got 13 points. I mentioned earlier, I think he should shoot a little more. That's how unselfish he is, I guess.
Yeah, he really does want to get everybody involved. And he doesn't look for his shot that much, but that's why I think he's the best guard in America. He's the consummate guard in that he can score, he can penetrate, he can do all the things you'd love a guard to do. Plus, he does it with a smile, enjoys the play. I mean, just like Magic Johnson. Somebody asked me, what player would you want to coach if you ever had a player to pick? And I said Magic. You know why? Because he just loved to play. Plus, he was so versatile. But he enjoyed it. I don't want guys with chips on their shoulder, man of the world. I don't want the Randy Mosses. I'll give it up to anybody who wants it.
It's a 10-point Wake lead as Ellis hits both free throws, and the crowd is all up again. And again, Carolina in an unfamiliar position. They haven't been down double digits, I bet, in a long time.
It's got to be a shot for them right now, but you find out what you're about. Playing on a road. This is their first legitimate road game other than the Santa Clara game, where Wake Forest, I salute them as we talked earlier, they've gone on a road to New Mexico, Temple, and Illinois.
McCants, 3 fouls, so does Jackie Manuel. At the free throw line is Sean May, 5 so far for the Wooden Award candidate, and he gets a free throw.
They've done a great job of keeping the ball away from May inside. See him trying to get post position inside. There's the denial, trying to beat him to the spot. They've really done a great job. When they won here last year, he was so effective. He won the battle against Williams. He had 18 versus 18 and 10 on the glass. Williams only took 4 shots in that game. And they lost in triple overtime up in Chapel Hill at North Carolina. Williams was dominant inside.
119-114 was that game. We were just kind of tossing numbers around before this game and said you better get to 90 if you want to win. And so far the defense maybe will make that a little bit different than what we thought. 2.5 minutes to go. It's an 8-point game here in the first half. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, and our ABC crew in Winston-Salem. Levy, baseline, tipped, finally corralled by Melvin Scott.
They're going to get those baseline jump shots against that 1-3-1. It's very difficult for the guy in the back to cover the entire baseline. So in the rotation, if they swing the ball, they'll get baseline shot.
Inside, they might have gotten a piece of Jaron Williams' shot there.
I love Levy. I love kids that just play hard, contribute in many ways, does a lot of the intangibles, veteran player.
Under 2 minutes in the half. And the Demon Deacons lead by 8. Here's Paul on the drive against Felton. Came up short. But Ellis was there for the rebound, and he's fouled trying to go back up.
You know, Felton, to me, as you watch him, he looks like he's grimacing a little bit. I really watched him. Look at him right here. There's a little pain in there. Could be that bump that he had on that screen.
Yep. He ran into Danilus, hip to hip. And he's still making faces out there as Ellis will go back to the free throw line where he's hit 3 in a row.
No matter what happens here this afternoon, my final 4 right now, I got Wake Forest, North Carolina, Illinois, and Kansas. Yeah, he's definitely, I think he's hurting. He's going out of the lineup right now. And they're a different team when he's sitting next to Roy Williams. He doesn't need another assistant coach. No. He has some outstanding ones there with Steve Robinson, Mr. Halliday, and certainly Jared Haas, who played on that great Kansas team in '97.
Thomas in at the point now for Felton. Noel outside, airballed it, but May is there, tipping it in after missing his own shot.
May's getting some offensive rebounds for opportunities, but they're not able to get the ball down in that post area.
May last year, almost 10 rebounds a game. Fourth in the ACC right now at 9, but his own offensive rebound there got him a basket and cut the lead back to 8. Call, and it's stripped away. Thomas trying to push it to Scott over a triple team. Probably not a good choice unless Carolina can come up with the ball.
Tough shot right there by Scott. That 3 fouls on McCants, certainly big with him on that sideline.
Coming up, the UBS halftime report. John and Rick will be along. They'll take a look at the Big 12, including Oklahoma State. Pittsburgh struggling a little bit. Conference USA and SEC action as well. So stick around in about, well, exactly 1 minute.
Well, Monday night, I go over to Austin, Texas. Texas and Oklahoma State.
Ooh, that'll be
Benny
good.
Sutton, who tied Hank Iva, his mentor. 767 wins, and that'll be great. It'll be a great environment. Rick Barnes got a good young basketball team. They lost to Texas A&M, where Billy Gillespie has to be the Rookie of the Year as a coach. In terms of rookie, if you look at any rookie that's done a great job, what a job he's done at Texas A&M.
Chris Paul here running the show, and he's running it against a freshman in Thomas. Around a pick. Works for a jumper. And got the roll.
He is really utilizing that baseline. They're trying to get him on that baseline side.
I said he's working against a freshman because that's a difference than working against Felton, that's for sure. And they've got a 10-point lead, 25 seconds left in the half, and 15,000 on their feet in Winston-Salem.
They need Felton. What electricity here. The energy's incredible from the moment we walked in. The sad part, all the fans will be a loser because these teams only play once.
Downey cut off of the baseline. Paul got it back. Drives. And off the glass, no good. And it'll be a 10-point game at halftime.
That's perfect.
Let's check in with Doris. And we'll check in with Doris in a second. McCants goes immediately to the rack and a chance for a three-point play. Rashad only had 2 free throws in the first half. And it's Danilus that picks up the foul, and that's his third.
Well, if North Carolina's going to win this game, McCants has to certainly elevate his game. He only played 10 minutes in the first half, had 3 fouls. I thought one was really uncalled for, a double foul. Bottom line is they need him to be effective offensively. Great start for him, though, with the 3-point play right out of the gate.
So it's Paul, Danilus, Williams, Levy, and Gray, the starting 5 on the floor for Wake Forest. Gray, not much of a factor, also because of foul trouble in the first half. He got 2 early.
Look at the concentration on Felton. Really defensively focusing on Paul.
Williams. Felton did a nice job of swiping at the ball, and now it's McCants in the open floor. If they can get it to him, and they do.
As McCants with a quick 5, that should give him a little bit of a boost. He and Justin Gray, great friends, played together with the Charlotte AAU team, talk to each other on the phone all the time, on a cell phone.
Something you wouldn't have seen in the old days. Talking to each other for an hour and a half on the cell phone the night before.
Unbelievable. They're so close with one another. They're on the phone constantly. They said the other night Chris Paul was on. He was on with McCants before the Georgia Tech game. Then he was on with Jared Jack. Hey, Doris, I'm going to get on the phone with you.
Well, Dick, I haven't disappeared. This game is far too good. Just some Carolina thoughts. I asked them how they'd slow Chris Paul down. They simply said, we need to make shots, and they're not getting their outlet up around half court. And then defensively, he is so good stealing the basketball. He said they feel like he has impacted their offense. They'd love to get Rashad McCants off early. It's going to be a problem now if that's a foul with 4 guys. Ride his emotion, guys.
Oh, that's a silly foul. Look where he is on the floor, 50 feet away from the goal.
Now he's got to be careful right here too.
He's got to be smarter than that. As a player, he's a veteran player. They need him.
No, I'm talking about staring down the official.
Yeah,
That's what
I know.
I'm talking about.
But he gets his 4th foul called on him there, Brad. That's a silly play on his part. Silly play on his part. Now, you don't want to stare anybody down. Don't want to stare anybody down. Not when you got 4 fouls. Boy, Williams can't believe it. Can't believe it.
So just when they got the spark they needed from the junior guard, he picks up his 4th foul and heads to the bench.
Only played 10 minutes in the first half. He's the most skilled offensive player in America.
That could have a huge impact on the rest of this game. Williams kicks it out to Gray. Gray's thinking about a shot, and he'll take it for 3. Air ball would go to the backside.
Last year, I would have said it would be over. Not this year. That bench is too good.
Nice ball movement. Felton for 3, and he airballs it as well.
Great job in their passing game, reversing the basketball. They have a plus margin of 25 over their opposition as you look at McCants with his 4th foul.
Tough inbound, and going to call a foul like Chris Paul, I think. That'll be his first. So there's one guy that isn't in foul trouble.
Certainly skilled Prosser, happy for that. Prosser did a great job at Xavier.
7 years there as the head coach.
Followed Peter Gillen, whose team is struggling right now. One of the big disappointments ACC is NC State.
Look at the block shot by Levy.
That's what he does. He defends and rebounds.
Gray for 3, in and out. And Danilus keeps it alive. Up strong for Danilus.
And that's the guy that was Raw Conference second team as a South. Very active, very tough. He's had so many injuries. We have never really seen the real Danilus since his second year.
And now the steal by Gray. Bad pass by Manuel.
Manuel telegraphed that baby.
Gray leaves it for Williams. And Williams off the glass.
Unselfish play right there by Gray. Defense rotated over to the right of 3. He had the awareness, and he really had the alertness as to where his teammate was.
The crowd again doing the jump in the Screaming Demon section.
I'll tell you, this place has been energized with this Prosser.
Manuel, don't know if that'll be the shot Roy Williams would want there either.
They'll allow him to shoot that shot all day.
Gray, deep shot.
Nothing but that. What a backcourt. They make great music. Paul and Gray. The electricity, the intensity, the emotion. Unbelievable, baby.
A 12-point lead and a steal. Biggest lead of the game. Chris Paul wants it back from Williams. And he'll take it from the line. Danilus again.
He is really working on the glass.
Justin Gray wants the basketball. I don't think they're going to bring it back outside, though. They won't get a chance. Yes, they will. And here he goes, Dick. Oh. And he came down on his ankle. He shot that from about 26 feet, and he's hurt.
He was a roommate in high school with Carmelo Anthony. Told me he called him up last night. He said he and Carmelo were roommates down at Oak Hill Academy.
We'll check on Justin Gray when we come back, but right now, Wake has run out to a lead of a dozen. Which the Deacons now with a 12-point lead. Let's see how Carolina comes back from this.
And they're able to bring Downey in, who's so effective early in the game.
Nice job by Manuel tracking down that loose ball. Williams
doing a great job making it a 5-on-5 game for North Carolina. Taking away that vaunted, that unbelievable fast break.
Felton guarded by Downey. Let's see. Williams draws a double team. Nice job defensively. 15 on the shot clock. Williams for 3. Way up is Manuel to try to tip it, but Eric Williams with the body and the muscle gets it down.
He is so strong, Williams.
Downey for 3. Way off.
Shot down.
Oh, but it's going to be a foul and 3 free throws.
Well, lucky to get that ball because he shot that from Raleigh. I mean, he was downtown.
You know, you got to wonder about North Carolina. Felton seems to be hobbled a little bit by the hip that ran into Danilus earlier in the ballgame, and Raymond just hadn't been himself, I don't think, since. And then you add that to the foul that now McCants on this play, trying to pick up the steal, picks up his 4th foul, and Jackie Manuel just picked up his 4th foul. There's some trouble in the Carolina backcourt, and their team down by 12.
I think they're stunned. They are shocked. They've been absolutely sensational at home, blowing people away. Margin of victory plus 25 leads the nation. And here they are. They're looking at a situation where they're down right now, 14-15.
Downey, 3 free throws, 19 out of 19 from the line.
And when they're preparing for the game, the one area of concern was the free throw line.
Noel knocks down a 3, and that's a big one.
Nice penetration, good open 3. They came in this game shooting, my friends. Think about this, 65%. As my buddy Brad just said, they're 19 for 19.
Paul all the way inside. Chris Paul was 17, playing like an All-American.
Well, to me, he can get to the rack anytime he wants. Nobody rotated over. No one closed off the driving angle. That's team defense. You got to help one another.
Which Williams is helping Paul right now against Felton. Loose, comes out to Noah. Boy, every pass contested, and now Marvin Williams fouls Chris Paul.
I think we cannot say enough positives about the defensive effort of Wake Forest.
Watching Wake Forest lead 4th-ranked North Carolina by 14 points.
Harry Cannon was some kind of shooter for Jimmy B's team that won the national title.
This guy's daddy was, and so is he.
He's like, yes, I can do just what my daddy did.
17-point Wake lead. And they're going crazy in Joel Coliseum. Whistle and a foul. Let's check in with Doris.
Well, you just were mentioning the crowd here. The turning point for Skip Prosser, February 2003. He goes on the road at Marquette, drops a tough game. He was blown away by what Tom Crean had developed at Marquette, guys. So what does he do? He flies the marketing guy from Marquette along with all his equipment. They had an upcoming game with Duke on the schedule. They had lost 14 straight. Thus, the Screaming Demons are born, guys. 2,500 of the 4,000 student body a member. They sign a contract saying they'll be at every home game unless it's on break. Skip Prosser has not paid any attention to this fact that, hey, Wake Forest didn't have an atmosphere. You can't recruit the top players. He has done both of those things, guys.
Hey, Doris, I'll tell you this. You mentioned 2,500 students out of 4,000 that are enrolled here. No school in the country has better student representation at home games. That's an incredible percentage.
They were taking roll on the guys outside that have been camping since Thursday. They didn't let them go to the bathroom until this morning, I don't think. You had to be there all night. You had to camp all night. You had to eat the pizza that Skip Prosser brought, and then you got in here first come, first serve.
I would be in trouble. Can't go to the bathroom? Oh.
Levy. Adjusting in midair, almost got it to go, but it comes down. Marvin Williams with a rebound.
You know, Brad, we talk about the great fast break. How many fast break opportunities have we really seen for North Carolina?
Sean May, they've had 2 guys on his hip the whole game, it seems.
And there's 2 reasons for that. One, they're doing a great job with the basketball, Wake Forest's guards. But number 2, they're making good decisions and high percentage shots, which affects your defense. It allows you to play better on the defensive side.
Eric Williams picks up his 3rd foul. He and Sean May battling for position on the offensive end for Wake.
North Carolina with 14 in a row. Right now, Illinois is 17 in a row. Boston College will come into the ACC next year. Really surprising with 13 in a row. Duke with 12 and Kansas with 12 in a row.
14 in a row and 9 in a row, as Dick said here, between these 2 teams.
Yeah, Minnesota and University of Texas El Paso have 10 in a row.
And a whistle and a foul on Visser, who just came in. That'll be his first.
Skip Prosser, one of the nicest people you could ever want to meet. Just a beautiful guy. He's coached from the high school ranks up in Wheeling, West Virginia. Coach Doug Rochek, they won a state championship. He's an assistant with Tom Izzo, played with the Naval Academy with David Robinson. 1982, won a state championship.
Skip out of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, the coach of the year in the ACC 2 seasons ago when they won the ACC regular season crown. Here's a whistle, and now the fouls are getting tighter. It was the 96-97 team that started 5-0, and that was Dave Odom's club with Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, you talk about special. What a special player in person. Look at the foul trouble.
There's a bunch of it.
Yes, sir. The big one is McCants getting his 4 as early as he has.
Because he was the spark coming into the second half. He had 5 quick points, then picked up his 4th foul.
And it's his fault, though. It was his fault, Brad. Getting a foul 50 feet away from the basket. You don't even take a chance there. The risk is too great.
And now Felton will sit down, and Thomas will come in for him at the points, and that changes the complexion of Carolina as well. While Thomas is a good one and a freshman, and maybe the heir apparent, he's not Raymond Felton yet.
Well, there aren't too many Raymond Feltons. We may have an answer for Raymond here by the name of Mr. Paul.
Gray for 3. And Visser, I think, got his second quick one here underneath, trying to battle for rebounding position. And he makes it.
Potential right here. Mr. Williams certainly won. LaMarcus Aldridge, who we'll see on Monday night, is another one. He's got a world of potential.
We talked about free throw shooting. Wake Forest is perfect. North Carolina's 14 out of 15.
That's amazing. Under a pressure situation like this, the kid's responding.
Felton likewise with 2 fouls. So both All-American, All-ACC point guards sitting right now. Visser, who's got a couple of quick fouls, found himself some position and has a basket.
Got the ball into him too easy. They allow him to get the ball that deep. A little reverse layup. I mean, I can make that shot.
A 13-point lead. Williams wide open. He can hit that shot, but he didn't get that one.
Shooting better than 60%. One of the nation leaders, 4th in the nation. 64% to be exact.
What a luxury to have a guy like Downey when you've got Chris Paul center.
He's big time. He's a big time. He's a member of my own Rolaids team. He's a guy coming off the bench who gives you instant productivity. There's the steal by the veteran player.
Coming down 1-on-2. Go!
He's big time. He's a PT player. He can start 95% of the schools in America.
Noel short from 3. And a push to the foul on North Carolina.
Brad, you don't get better guard play than what we're seeing here this afternoon by Paul Gray Downey. Here is the great steal. He's a left-handed player, going to take it up strong. Lays it on the glass with the left hand. And there's the cheerleader going to cheer for him. Yes, sir, Mr. Paul. He's the mayor of Winston-Salem. He can cheer a little bit more now.
Nothing soft about Downey today, huh?
No, I like that. You come up with all these lines, man. I know your Vikings, by the way. I'm telling you, they're going.
I don't know why they're my Vikings just because you brought up Randy Moss. I'm a Falcon fan.
Oh, are you a Falcon?
Why not?
Yeah, I figured growing up as a youngster out there in the Minneapolis area.
Well, in that day I was.
I'll tell you, Randy Moss, don't even get me started. I'll tell you, not so much what he did, but the way he shunned off a $10,000 fine blew me away. There's little kids out there who scraping nickels and dimes to buy his jersey. I say, shame on you, Randy. Maybe that's why they're 8-8 every year.
64-49 here. Double team on Visser. Did he throw it away? They're going to check here. Trying to see if the ball was tipped. I didn't know if it was either. I don't think any of the players did as well. 11 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the ball game. 64-49, NCAA basketball on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. For Wake Forest a week from today at Cincinnati. That'll be part of ABC's coverage. That'll be a good game. Justin Gray, top of the circle, and trying to shag down his own rebound. Draws a crowd of Carolina blue. Still is. Carolina with a steal.
That's usually a layup for Gray. On top of the circle, 3. North Carolina's at Clemson. If they lose this game, they're going to be an angry team.
They'll be at Clemson next.
Trying to get that passing game, get some motion. Ball movement, player movement, so vital to that game. A little high screen.
Felton.
Oh, I should have taken it right to the goal. I really think that leg was bothering him. He would have burst right to the goal.
Terry for 3. That's a big shot by Rashad Terry.
Hey, you and I saw him come off the bench when they were struggling against Maryland.
Yep.
And he made 2 big shots, got 11 points in that game, and he was the guy we were not even hearing his name mentioned. He's from Winston-Salem, by the way.
Where's that number 3 on the Carolina jersey because of Shammond Williams, and Shammond have been proud of that 3-pointer he just knocked down.
Shammond said he could shoot the rock.
12-point game now, 10:45 left. Downey with Felton way out here in front of us. Downey might want to take a three. There it goes. I think Felton got a piece of it and May picked it out of midair.
He's got May right now. He's got May. He missed him. He had May. Little hook pass, had a layup.
Terry will try another. Ellis with the rebound.
That was a big possession. Normally Raymond Felton sees the open guy. He missed his buddy, missed the May. But North Carolina's going to come back and make this a game. The next 3 minutes is going to tell us the story.
Gray has a look up at the clock. The lob underneath to Ellis, trying to make a tough catch, ran out of real estate, threw it away.
And here's where they normally usually excel in transition.
Felton to use his body to go to the free throw line.
Great job by Felton to create that. You're exactly right, Brad. He created that foul opportunity with his body. One of the premier point guards in America. He's in a little bit of pain. Finalist for the Bob Cousy Award along with Chris Paul.
Here comes McCants back into the lineup, but watch Raymond Felton go to the rack against Williams.
Picks it up strong.
That's 4 fouls on Williams too, Dick, by the way, and he's going to leave.
Felton is one of the 10 finalists for that prestigious award named after a guy that was absolutely sensational, number 14. I spoke at a banquet once where Magic Johnson was there, and I said, Magic, you were only dreaming your mom is high when number 14, Cousy, was going around his back.
I saw a guy the other night that's also up for that. Travis Diener had kind of an off night, but he's a good player too. It's a 9-point ball game. We haven't been in single digits since it was 37-29.
North Carolina's too talented and too good and too well coached to go away.
Teardrop by Chris Paul.
He'll get you back the lead. That's why he's an All-American. Big clutch shots. Wants to rock, but his team needs a lift.
Paul with 19. And there's another foul, and this one's going to be on Danilus, and that'll be his fourth. So Danilus and Williams, 2 starters with 4 fouls. Let's check in with Doris.
Well, as Rashad McCants re-enters the game, guys, no one has ever questioned his basketball skills. They've questioned his teammate skills. Here we show him trying to encourage Ray Felton to be more assertive. Now, we've seen both sides, guys, the reactions, the stare down of the officials sitting quietly on the bench. And Dick, remember this moment earlier in the year. Francisco Garcia fouls out of an overtime game. He becomes chief water boy and cheerleader. Will McCants react the same? That's the question.
Well, you know, Garcia certainly was a cheerleader in that game. I remember that vividly down there when they were able to steal that game from the Gators in front of the Rowdy Reptiles. But McCants has really worked on trying to make strides. He really has.
Only the second missed free throw of the ball game by Raymond Felton there a moment ago.
It's amazing the way Wake has shot on the line. What are they right now?
They're 19 out of 19.
19 out of 19.
And Carolina's, what, about 15 out of 17? Something like that. That's 18 out of 20, excuse me.
That's pretty good shooting in any league.
That is. I don't even think you can do that anymore. 10-point ball game. And we're under 10 minutes. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, our ABC crew in Winston-Salem. Packed house, almost 15,000 between the number 3 and number 4 teams in the country. And Wake's going to take a short time out here to catch their breath and regroup with a 10-point lead and 9:15 to go.
It's been a fun afternoon.
As it ever. Next Sunday, ABC Sports takes you to China, home of Yao Ming, and more than 200 million NBA fans. You'll get an inside look at Yao's early years, back when he was only about 6'3", and the impact of the NBA's international popularity. NBA in China, Beyond the Wall. It's Sunday, a week from tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports. This is why we love college basketball. You come to Tobacco Road, you have number 3 against number 4. Never have both been in the top 5. This is a 210th meeting, and it's everything we wanted.
I know, and I don't want people to walk away from here. Let's say, for example, Wake goes out and wins this game. Oh, North Carolina overrated. Forget about it. On a given afternoon, on your home floor, teams can do this. The question mark is, how does a team respond on a neutral floor against one another? And that's the beauty of the NCAA tournament. That's why it's the best in all the sports. 6 shots to win the national title. You're going to win 6 in a row. Take a look at the guard comparison.
Wake trying to win its 10th straight. Carolina trying to win its 15th in a row. And Wake throws it away, and you can see Raymond Felton kind of giving it to Fisk, going, okay, we just need to get it back in single digits. We're not going to pick it all up on one possession.
And remember this, they're a very dangerous three-point shooting team, shooting 44%. So they can get back quickly if a couple guys knock down a few trifectas. The three-point shot has revolutionized the game. It has changed the complexion of the game.
And the way that kid shot in the first half changed the complexion of the first half.
It really did. Came in and knocked out 3.
McCants. Downey was on him momentarily. Now he's double teamed down low, trying to get rid of him.
You got to give McCants some looks for a 3. He's an outstanding three-point shooter.
There's McCants. Great feed from Felton. He just couldn't finish it. But it's still North Carolina ball as Levy stepped on the baseline.
Trying to utilize his left hand on the inside. Roy Williams, I don't think there's any doubt, will be a Hall of Famer. Averaging 28 wins a year. He was at Kansas, was absolutely incredible.
4 Final Fours there, over 30 wins, 5 different seasons. Felton, a 3 that was halfway home, and a collision. Is this on McCants? He's gone. If it is. Or is it not a foul? No foul.
No foul call.
Just a collision, no foul. That's why the fans are booing. They were hoping number 32 was gone. That's a good no foul. McCants with a score. That's the only time he's been able to smile today, not getting that foul and then getting a bucket for North Carolina to make it an 8-point game again.
They've really missed him on that sideline as an assistant coach in foul trouble. He's such a big-time offensive weapon.
8-point game, 8 left. I don't think you want to go anywhere.
This guy, you want the rock in his hands. He makes things happen.
Chris Paul, a runner. Rebound, who's? Big pile up in front of the Wake bench, and last touch by Manuel.
Now, you don't want to leave. I smell a little possible spurt coming on. A spurt may be coming on by the Tar Heel.
Better listen to Mr. Montel. 7:52 left. We'll be right back. Chris Paul has led the way for Wake with 19 points. At halftime, he had 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals as well.
You got to try to keep the ball out of his hands if you're North Carolina. Try to deny it. Don't allow him to get it.
Downey wide open for 3. Rebound. Williams had it, lost it to Ellis, and he scores.
Ellis has been really effective off the bench. Big offensive rebound. His dad certainly be proud with that effort.
Chris has 11 off the Wake bench.
That was a big basket because you would have been down 8 North Carolina with the rock. Instead, right now, you're down 10.
Felton thought about a 3.
Ray matched up with his buddy McCants.
Williams, an errant pass, trying to get it to May. And now out of the pack is Paul, 1-on-3. Out of bounds, 2. Wait for it.
That shot went in. If that shot went in, I'm going to say, call it up. Wave the white towel.
Let's check in with Doris.
Well, just a quick look at how Wake Forest is winning this basketball game. When you think about both sides' top 3 scores, pretty much even, guys. But depth, both of these teams have it. To date, though, Wake Forest taking advantage 29-17 off the bench. Chris Ellis a big part of that. And then finally, the X factor. How many fouls on each side? See McCants with 4 and Williams with 4. So each team with one key guy down the final 7 minutes, guys.
And the guy that just fouled out, number 5, picks up number 5. Jackie Manuel's gone.
You know, you talk about the anatomy of the win. Certainly got to factor in when you talk bench play. We talk about his bars did so well there. Mr. Downey, he's been so productive with that 3-point shot.
So Wake will inbound with a 10-point lead, 7-10 remaining, and 1 North Carolina starter has gone to foul trouble. Wide open is Levy.
Can't get back in the game when you leave people open like that. You let Ellis get an offensive rebound. Levy open. What a terrific performance by the kids here from Wake Forest.
Noel for 3 and got it. That's his second of this half.
That's the way you can get back in the game. Make those threes. I can't hear you, Brad. It's unbelievable.
Ellis hit the deck, got the pass from Gray, and gets it right back to him. Now Gray trying to weave through traffic, and Sean May's a presence defensively. But he threw it away.
Bad shot. Defensive effort by Paul. Oh,
that's a 3 in range. Got it!
What a big-time look by Paul to get the ball over to teammate, his buddy.
Foul on Levy. But the last play by Wake Forest, if they win the game, might be the one you look back at and say, there was the nail.
What a terrific look right now. Take a look by Paul as he gets it over to Gray. He's one step ahead of the action. He knew where Gray was on the floor. Got it right open to him in the left corner in a transition game. And Gray is such a lethal shooter.
53 threes for Justin Gray this year. 3 this afternoon.
All-time three-point shooter here, Randolph Childress.
I don't think he'll catch Randolph, but you never know. He's got 185 now, but Randolph is over 300.
He's not catching Mr. Randolph.
I don't think so.
Mr. Childress is home free. North Carolina might have to go some full-court pressure right here as you look at Mr. Childress. Mike Patrick was so ecstatic when he had that performance in the ACC tournament. 7 points in 3 games.
That was unbelievable. Marvin Williams has 10 points in the ball game, which is his average. And now he can make it a 10-point game if he hits his 6th straight free throw, and he does.
When his minutes start to increase, he's unbelievable how good he's going to be. He's going to be a special North Carolina player.
Sean May getting a breather because we got 6 big minutes coming up.
Every time it looks like Wake Forest can put them away, they just come back with a basket and hang around to 10 ball.
Nice overplay by Noel, knocked it away from Gray, and it's going to be North Carolina ball. Nice defense by David Noel.
Look at Skip, he's bleeding. He can't believe it. Right in front of my back. He said, no, no, no. Look at the speed. Look at that speed.
All the way for Felton. That's why everybody loves Raymond.
Oh, everybody loves Raymond. What a reverse layup on the drive to the goal.
Paul with the answer on the other end.
And he comes back and the answer's on. Oh, the fans are going to miss the treat of seeing him play again. What a terrific matchup. Paul and Felton. Listen to this noise. I can't believe it.
Marvin Williams picks up his 4th foul after Felton had the drive on one end. Chris Paul says, anything you can do, I can do better.
There he is. Anything you can do, I can do better. No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
I know you trust better than me, I can tell you that.
22 for Paul. Felton all the way again. And that one he kind of laid up there hoping he'd get some help from his friends. Noel for 3. And over the back on Williams. I think Raymond Felton that time said, if this goes in, great. If not, hopefully one of my big guys can hammer it home.
He really was determined taking that ball to the rack. You talk about great backcourts in basketball. Certainly D. Brown and Darren Williams right up there on top. Don't forget the backcourt down in Durham where they're getting most out of J.J. Redick and an underrated Daniel Ewing. And then they got Sheldon Williams inside. They came on strong against NC State in that second half to win Thursday night.
Levy knocks down the free throw.
Hey, what about saluting Frank Hank, former assistant coach at Wake Forest? Right now, they're 12-3 Miami, and they're 3-1 in the ACC.
They're doing a great job.
Yes, they are. With guard play, Harris, Diaz, certainly height.
The Demon Deacons are 22 out of 22 from the free throw line.
That is incredible. Everywhere I went and prepared for the game, people talked about the free throw line might be the Achilles heel for Wake Forest. Some Achilles heel.
McCants all the way. Nice drive on McCants. He's got 11. The lead is 11.
Just play basketball, Rashad.
Paul up, Bellinger.
Can you see why he's my choice? Mid-season as the player of the year. The best player in America, Chris Paul.
24 points.
Ike Diago having a great year for Arizona State as well. A lot of people don't know about him.
Here goes McCants to work. It goes. Will a basket count? No signal yet. They wave off the basket.
Can't say anything, Rashad. Just play basketball. A little frustrating. Got in foul trouble early.
He'll go to the free throw line. Disappointed that it was not a chance for a three-point play. With Dick Vitale and Doris Burke, I'm Brad Nessler. This is the first time ever in 210 meetings. Both teams have been ranked in the top 5 in the country. It's been great defense on both ends. It's been fast-paced. Neither team is going to get to their average, I don't think, before it's over. Well, the Demon Deacons might, but the Tar Heels have a long way to go. They are up Wake Forest by 13 points. And they're going to change the foul. I'm going to take it back, too. That's what the conversation's going on about. Justin Gray will get the foul, and not Chris Paul. Either way, it's Rashad McCants at the free throw line. 3 for 3 from the stripe today. 11 points in the ball game. Foul trouble in the first half, and he missed.
Wake Forest started out this game making a statement on the defensive side. They said if you're going to beat us, you better be able to execute in your half-court game. Because you're not getting transition layups all day. Skip Ross and his coaching staff had them really pumped and ready. I mean, the papers have been filled with so many adjectives describing the explosiveness, and deservedly so, of North Carolina for playing away from home. This is their first legit road game other than the Santa Clara game to start the season.
Boy, what an offensive rebound by Marvin Williams, though. They get a free possession out of this after 2 missed free throws.
He's magnificent.
Jawad Williams thought about a 3, packs it in low to Noel. And then the follow, and a beautiful follow by Marvin Williams. The guy just...
Look how graceful he is as he goes up and down the court. So smooth, so quick.
Down to 11. I know that by the 4-minute timeout, North Carolina would love to have this thing in single digits.
There's that big screen for Paul with Mr. Williams got a hedge. They switch up on top. How to get back?
Danilus is open. And he knocks down a 3.
He can make that 3 to stretch your defense. They're a very good basketball team. These two teams will be heard from big time come March Madness, the greatest time of the year.
Noel, nice pick and roll, got it back to Marvin Williams, who set the original screen for him on the back door, and Williams has 15.
Even a subpar performance today by North Carolina doesn't change my mind at all as to how good they are.
And don't forget, they can score in a hurry if they get a stop defensively or two. Paul, they haven't been able to stop him. They block his shot, he gets it back. And now it's Carolina Felton with McCants in front. And McCants will slam it home. And just like that, that's what I'm talking about. It's back to 10.
Well, that's our transition game. They can get the ball up the court so quickly, so explosive.
I said about 2 hours ago, the first 1 to 90 might win. You might want to hang around here. It's 83-73.
Quality shots now, really a bit. Take some time off the clock. Make sure the right people have the ball.
Williams up strong, too strong off the glass.
Good shot, though. Good execution.
Rebound is North Carolina's, courtesy of the hustle of Jawad Williams, who didn't get the rebound, but he kept it alive for McCants. And now Carolina can get it in single digits with under 3 to go.
They got Levy playing McCants right now. I tried to get a screen and get a McCants a 3. Try to pop a screen. There it is.
McCants
is going to try to take him one-on-one.
Driving his Chevy to the Levy.
Can't teach that, my friends. He took it to Mr. Levy. Oh, you can't teach that. What a great one-on-one move. He just broke him down.
We got to have a warning. We have to have a warning because the first time the ball, the warning goes both ways.
Now Bernard Clinton at the scores table. I think there's just a warning not to touch the ball.
Yeah, they don't want to touch the ball. Yes, so you don't want him to touch the basketball to get an advantage to stop the transition game. Can you believe that move he just made?
That was pretty special. 2:33 remaining. Here's the drive. Chevy to the Levy. 83-75. McCants on the score.
Wake Forest leading by 8 with 2:33 remaining. Each team has 3 timeouts should they need it. And think about this, guys. Over the summer, when Wake Forest got together to play pickup basketball, if any team scored more than 2 buckets in a row, they'd stop the game and talk about the defense. If ever they needed stops, guys, now's the time.
Boy, is that the truth.
I'll tell you, Doris and Brad, they really struggled defensively last year. That was one of their downfalls. Williams, I thought he got away with a walk. I thought he got away with a walk. What a breakdown by North Carolina.
Back to 10 it goes. Still 2:15 left though.
You know, you're down like 8 late in the game like that. You can't have those kind of breakdowns.
Felton thought about a 3, but Paul got on him in a hurry.
Good stepping out by Williams. They got him on a bump.
And that's it for Williams. He's gone.
Yes, sir. He made contact. He did a good job stepping out, but he didn't have to make any contact. Got a little too over-aggressive.
So that takes away some inside presence for Skip Prosser, that's for sure.
And that's what they have an advantage, both these clubs. Low post presence. A lot of teams do not have it. There's the screen up on top. See, he steps out. Steps out here and he bumps him. Tries to make him go wide. He's been consistent most of the years.
Tell you what, all the screens and things that Felton's tried to go around, he's tried to swivel more hips than Elvis today. He's going to be sore when it's all over.
He's always shook up.
He is.
I'll tell you, Raymond Felton is really going to sleep well tonight.
Shook up enough to miss the free throw.
See, I think that really hurt him on the free throw. A little bit tired, a little aching.
He's missed 2 of his last 3.
Try to get back. You got to convert on that line. Go to the little full court pressure. So tough to press this basketball team. He puts in an outstanding guard play.
They're going to try a little bit of one-on-one. Well, they're going to try to trap Paul, and that didn't work.
Good job posting up, getting to the guards.
Downey trying to throw it to Gray. Williams on a steal.
Good anticipation.
The outlet to McCants now on the run behind the back.
Oh, what a sensational offensive player. What a tremendous play around his back. He is so talented. He is the most talented offensive player in the land. He's got to control all the other nonsense.
This is Sports Center. Here you come on the break to try to get it down to 7 behind the back, around Downey and up and in.
He made like Bob Cousy did years and years ago. That's way before you. That's way before you. You were a baby then. Around the back,
you know, doing that practice or doing that goofing around is one thing. To be able to pull that off and pull your team within 7 in a game of this magnitude, that's pretty special.
They got to really lock up defensively right now. Free throw shooting becomes big, and Wake's been as good as possibly you can be.
If you're just joining us from another game or just joining us for the afternoon, there's the reset. 2 timeouts for Carolina, 3 for Wake Forest. This is as close as the game has been since it was 45-38. The lead in the second half for Wake Forest at times has swelled to 17. But now with less than 2 minutes left, it's 85-78 between the number 3 and number 4 teams in the country. Number 3 trying to hold their home court in front of a sellout crowd of almost 15,000.
Well, you know, Wake the last 5 games, they've been brilliant. Plus 17 margin. Shooting 45% for 3.
Downey pulls it out.
Spread the court right now with Downey, Gray, and Paul. Take some time off that block. Look at these 3 guards. 3 experienced guards who can handle the basketball.
Nice job on the double team on Paul, and now Gray is fouled by Noel.
They really spread the floor really well. The double team comes. Get it over to one of their teammates. Try to get some good spacing. And now they go to the free throw line where they have been awesome, baby, with a capital A today.
Haven't missed. 22 out of 22, and Justin Gray, last year one of the better free throw shooters in the conference. He slipped a little bit this year to 71%, but he's definitely a guy along with Paul and Downey that you'd want at the free throw line in the waning moments of the ballgame.
There's that conversion by Gray. Eddie Sutton, congratulations, just went by Mr. Iba, who we love dearly with 7-6-8. And I hope and pray that Lou Henson gets a chance to win his 800th. Got a beautiful letter from his daughter. We sent our prayers and our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Lou.
2 big free throws by Justin Gray. Wake Forest perfect from the free throw line. They might be perfect in a minute and 20 seconds as far as their fans are concerned if they can hold on to this lead. Williams had a thought, now drives.
Charge, get a charge.
Offensive foul.
Mike Wood with the call. Carl Hess as well.
And that's his 5th, and he's gone.
What a great job defensively by Wake all afternoon, helping one another, closing off driving angles. Take an example right here. Look at him closing off the angle right there, Danilus. Great job of rotating over all the little things, all the intangibles. Look at the emotion.
Danilus would take that over the 3-pointer he hit earlier. I'll take it. I'll bet you that much.
Well, those are the little things that put you in a winner's circle.
Still not over. A 9-point game right now. Time permitting. The Cialis post-game report. And now time taken by Wake Forest with 1:15 left.
You know, Brad, psychologically a big game for Wake Forest. When you're a club that was rated as high as #1 in America, you get embarrassed like they did by Illinois. They had to make a statement, especially that the game is on their own living room floor. As you said earlier so well, the people that follow tennis, you got to hold serve, my friend. You got to hold it.
Talking about the Illinois game. He said, you know what, just give Illinois credit. They played a lot better than we did. He said, we were down 17 in the first half. We had a three-pointer that we were hoping was going to go in just to cut it to 14.
18 for 35 on the line against Maryland, and today they are perfect.
Loose, and he'll be fouled in the backcourt by either Noel or Felton.
Statistically, I mean, it's in North Carolina's favor for them to miss one, would you think?
Yeah, you would. Can you hit 25 straight free throws? Danilus is going to try to prove that you can. He, though, is a 61% free throw shooter.
I mean, 25 in a row in a situation where there's so much pressure, so much excitement.
Well, let's see how he does. 6'9" senior out of Lithuania by way of Indianapolis. It might be their day.
They got the stroke, my friend. They really got the stroke on the line. They're all making like J.J. Redick.
I don't know what was on that pizza Skip Prosser got to the kids last night, but maybe he fed his team the same thing.
I know.
This could put them up 11. And does.
They look automatic every time they step on the line. It's hard to believe they shoot 65% as a team. The fans deserve so much as well. The Screaming Demons were here, filled with spirit.
Felton, what a move. He looked behind him as if to get a pass away and then turned back to the basket while still hanging in midair, made the shot. But now 14 straight, and it's in jeopardy big time.
5-second violation, I believe, down in that area.
It's coming back to Carolina.
They get the ball in, quick and on.
Gray didn't get it in time.
I'll tell you, if it's any indication how they bounce back from a loss to Santa Clara, all I can say, their next opponent, Clemson, ouch.
Yep. Well, they've got a chance here.
They can make threes.
We're at 1 minute.
Got to knock down a three.
Felton for three. They needed that one, that's for sure.
Dean Smith had so many miracle performances at the end of the game.
If they get a three or even a two and a stop and come down the other way.
I'll never forget my buddy, the late Jimmy V. He called me up after I did a game. I kept singing, and we're up about 12-14. I said, don't go away. Dean Smith's a genius. He said, all you talked about was Dean Smith.
McCants has 19.
He got on my case the next day. He said, here we are dominating your guy, Michelangelo. And he said, all you're talking about is how he gets his teams to come back. But they had so many miracle wins, North Carolina, over the years.
It's going to take a miracle here, but there's still 49 seconds remaining, and it's down to 7 points. Chris Paul is one of the reasons they're going to need a miracle, because he has been the man today with 24 to lead the Demon Deacons in scoring. Preseason ACC Player of the Year choice, a unanimous selection on the first-team All-America squad, the leading vote-getter on the preseason All-American team, and that hasn't happened since Tim Duncan was here. And when you think about Wayne Simeon and Hakeem Warwick and Lawrence Roberts and Julius Hodge and the guys that are on that team, for him to be the leading vote-getter as a preseason All-American, and Dick, he's playing like it today.
Well, he's playing like a Rolls-Royce superstar. He made my mid-season All-American team, along with Darren Williams from Illinois, Diago. As you look at the pregame, he and Sean May were the recipients of the USA Student Athlete of the Year.
Watching when he tries to take it from Sean May at the end. That's the kind of kid he is. They both played very well today. May's been quiet in this second half.
Great personality. My other guys on my All-Rolls-Royce mid-season were Mr. May in the middle, Keith Warwick at Syracuse, where he's done a great job. And Ike Diago, no one really knows about the kid. I'm telling you, Brad, you should see this kid at Arizona State.
North Carolina out of timeouts right now, and down by 7. Justin Gray had trouble getting it in last time. This time he does to Downey. They prefer not to foul him or Paul or Gray, but they're going to have to foul somebody. And Noel fouls Chris Paul.
They do a great job of spreading the court, good spacing. They know where people are, looking diagonally against the trap, finding open people, well drilled. North Carolina is certainly a loss here. One beauty about college basketball, it doesn't destroy your year.
Right. There's a lot more left. 26 out of 26.
That's the number. We could talk about all the strategy we want. We could talk about all the situations offensively, defensively. That free throw line is incredible. 26 for 26.
And you know what? Wake Forest is the first team to 90.
Yep. Our man Gordon, 27 in a row on the line. I mean, I haven't been in a game where I see the team get perfect like that.
Levy blocks McCants, long three-pointer, and now a foul. And McCants and the crowd will go crazy.
There'll be no comeback this afternoon. This has been Wake Forest's afternoon from the get-go in every department. McCants getting in foul trouble really hurt North Carolina. And he looked like he was poised for a big, big afternoon.
Still perfect.
28 for 28 just blows me away. I mean, I had some midday shooting in practice with nobody around, but not like that.
This will make it 30 if he hits it, and he does.
Is it 30 now?
30 out of 30.
30 out of 30. That's the difference in the game. 30 out of 30.
Felton will try a three. Rebound, down loose. This one's over.
He's been tough this afternoon. He's really been tough. Hasn't scored a lot of points, but physical presence and toughness. A salute to Wake Forest.
Carolina's the team that came in as the highest scoring team in the country at almost 94 points a game. And if Danilus hits this free throw, it'll be the Demon Deacons that have 94.
My friend, I don't change my mind. They're a little down right now. But North Carolina, Illinois, Kansas, and Wake Forest are my final four to head to St. Louis. The town that produced two of my favorite paisans, Joe Garagiola and Lawrence Peter Berra.
The only drama left, I think, is whether or not Wake can stay perfect from the foul line. As the crowd quiets, Danilus keeps it perfect so far. They're at 94.
What's this going to do to that percentage? 65% coming into the game.
It'll definitely help.
All right. I think it will help mathematically.
Not the math guy, you were. Got them both. Got them both. Wake Forest will go to 9-0 at home. Their number 3 ranking will be in no danger in the next 10 seconds because Wake Forest is going to beat the Tar Heels and snap a 14-game winning streak. They run their own streak to 10 in a row. What a win, 95-82.
So sad that they don't play again. It really is bad. Expansion has been such a nightmare.
But should they get to the ACC tournament, maybe they'll see each other again, and boy, will that be a good second dance. Chris Paul, sensational today. Many of the Wake Forest players were. Many players on both teams were. But he ends up with 26 points to lead Wake Forest to one of the bigger wins in their history. 95-82, the final score.